All right, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle a feeling that I know is absolutely universal. You know the exact scenario, right? You finally carve out some time, you sit down at your desk with this massive list of tasks, and instead of actually working, you end up doing absolutely nothing. Except maybe, I don't know, alphabetizing your spice rack. So today, we're unpacking the fascinating psychology behind why we get stuck, and more importantly, how a tool called Untangle uses a completely different approach to lower our mental friction and get us moving again. So why do we freeze? Think about that precise moment of the system crash. You sit down, you have 10 things to do, and honestly, several of them feel highly urgent. Logically, you should just pick one and go, but instead, you just freeze. Your mind goes completely blank, even though your plate is incredibly full. It's a really frustrating paradox. And what happens next? We instantly pivot to avoidance behaviors. You just stare blankly at the screen. You impulsively pick up your phone to check notifications that, let's be real, do not matter in the slightest. Or actually, my personal favorite, you spend 20 minutes reorganizing your to-do list by color instead of doing a single item on it. Boom, an entire hour vanishes and literally nothing got done.
But here is the crucial point. This is not a motivation problem. The intent is genuinely there. You aren't just being lazy. What's actually happening is a mechanical stall. When everything feels equally urgent, your brain is trying to simultaneously process the importance, the individual steps, and the heavy emotional weight of every single task all at once. That's pure cognitive overload. It is a literal system crash in your brain.
Which leads us to why our typical filing cabinets fail. We have to realize something about the tools we desperately hope will fix this. Most of them assume your bottleneck is organization. But if you're already experiencing that overwhelming system crash, a better filing cabinet doesn't help you start working. Handing an overwhelmed person a beautifully designed to-do app is literally like giving them a highly detailed map of Mount Everest before they've even figured out how to tie their hiking boots. Let's break down exactly why these standard tools trap us. Pure storage tools like Todoist or Things, they just assume you already know exactly what to do and in what order. Then you have hyper-flexible workspaces like Notion. They give you so much freedom that they actually create intense blank page anxiety before you've achieved anything. And you might think AI chat tools like ChatGPT solve this by breaking things down, but asking them for a plan just leaves you with text in a window. You still have to manually transfer that plan into your calendar or system. That transfer step, it's pure cognitive friction, landing squarely on someone whose mental bandwidth is already totally maxed out. Enter Erin and the concept of managing psychology.
What's really interesting here is how Untangle's AI mentor, Erin, approaches the problem completely differently. They realized the central issue isn't project management, it's managing the user's psychology by drastically lowering mental friction. Erin doesn't act like some traditional, demanding project manager. The secret is that it completely skips forced organization. You don't have to put things into neat little boxes. It bypasses the bottleneck that causes the freeze in the first place.
And that brings us to the absolute power of brain dumps. So how exactly does Erin lower that mental friction to get you unstuck? Well, it's a simple 3-step workflow, starting with a messy brain dump. You just type or speak everything on your mind. Deadlines, vague worries, unfinished commitments, whatever. And crucially, there is absolutely zero need to organize, tag, or prioritize any of it first. You just get the mental clutter out. Then, Erin turns that mess into a time-box plan, and finally distills it down into a single microstep. I really want to emphasize this core psychological truth, because it is the absolute key to this whole system. The moment you ask a mentally overwhelmed person to categorize, tag, or prioritize their tasks, you have lost them. They're going right back to staring at their phone. Removing that requirement completely through a messy brain dump is the ultimate key to lowering friction and unlocking action. Let's look at micro steps over broad goals. This is how it all builds into the execution phase, where Erin translates that chaotic brain dump into a reality you can actually act on. Notice the dramatic difference here. Instead of handing you back a broad, daunting instruction like, prepare the presentation, which is just packed with high friction and ambiguity, Erin gives you a single, incredibly specific microstep. Open the presentation and write the title. That's it. Just that one thing. It removes all the guesswork and radically lowers the activation energy required to just begin. And this gym metaphor brilliantly illustrates the difference in support. Standard apps are basically like a personal trainer emailing you a complex workout PDF. I mean, sure, it's technically helpful, but you still have to figure out the gym by yourself while feeling totally intimidated. Erin, on the other hand, is like a trainer, physically walking you to the machine, adjusting the seat for you, and actually handing you the very first weight. It is a guided workflow with intelligence built directly into the doing phase. It lowers your mental friction by actually staying with you through focused work sessions. Which leads us to this really powerful takeaway. The product isn't trying to manage your project, it's managing your psychology. True productivity, especially when you're overwhelmed, isn't about having a perfectly filed list of goals. It's about recognizing that the brain needs help crossing that bridge from planning into doing. By lowering mental friction at every single stage, from the messy dump to that specific micro step, the app effectively tricks the brain out of its system crash. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought today. Take a quick look at the apps on your phone or computer right now. Are your current tools just rigidly managing your projects, or are they actually managing your psychology? Because if you are frequently freezing at your desk, it might be time to stop organizing your lists and start lowering your mental friction.